Hey, what's happening, YouTube fam? You know who it is. Lil J Show. Hope everybody is having a wonderful and blessed day today. Hope everything is going okay, going strong for you. Today, we got Dr. Umar Johnson in the spotlight. You know, everybody's still talking about this roast that Kevin Hart had. You know, the white boy mentioned George Floyd. Yeah, he mentioned George Floyd, you know. So, Dr. Umar Johnson, he had something to say about it. I thought the joke was it wasn't a joke. I just thought that it was unnecessary. He shouldn't have said nothing like that, because we all watched it. We all know how Mr. George Floyd passed away. And it's still kind of fresh. It's not old. Even though it happened a few years back, it's still fresh because a lot of us are still living this life. A lot of us are still afraid of the police. Even before the George Floyd incident, see the police, man. Oh Lord, man, I hope he ain't making no U-turn. Damn, I hope they going the other way, because you don't want to have the interaction with them because you never know who you might run into. You might run into a good one. You might run into one that's having a bad day. Maybe he didn't caught his wife cheating. He want to take it out on a black man. Maybe he caught his wife cheating with a black man, just never know. But black men, black people in general, have been going through this for the longest, I've even had bad interactions with the police. I had a police pull me over for no reason one time. Pulled me out of the car, threw me to the ground, put his knee on my face, and when I got up, my side of my face was bloody from where he was just kind of like digging his knee into the other side of my face, and it was just going against the pavement, man. But what could I do? Nothing. Because I was from a little small town in Texas. They ain't gonna do nothing to the police officers. It don't matter. Unless you got money or something like that, Then maybe you could. But anyways, let's listen to what Dr. Umar Johnson had to say about this roast that Kevin Hart had.
Umar Johnson just crashed out on Kevin Hart and every black entertainer at the Netflix roast, and he issued a final warning and laid out the consequences that's gonna come if they ever sell out black folks in that fashion again. Netflix has this thing called Joke Fest, and a part of Joke Fest, they do like a live comedy special. Last year, I believe it was the roast of Tom Brady. This year, it was the roast of Kevin Hart. Black people were really pissed at Kevin Hart and other black entertainers in attendance, but more specifically Kevin Hart, because they believe that they sat by and allowed the white supremacist comedian Tony Hinchcliffe to make a tasteless joke about George Floyd being in hell and laughing up at us.
You know, Kevin, they told me not to mention your kids on this roast, but I must say, you did good. They've gotten so big, they now buckle Kevin up in the car seat. It's true he lost his gig hosting the Academy Awards because of some homophobic tweets, but you'd be homophobic too if you were eye level with everyone's cock. He got into a fist fight on a private plane, proof that no matter how much money black people have, they're still just gonna act like ninjas. Always fighting.
So what are we supposed to act like? White folk? When we get money? Is that how we supposed to act? What is he trying to say?
Like Bill Cosby, Hart is a black comedian from Philadelphia, and like Bill Cosby, women don't know when Kevin is inside of them. You've done good though, Kevin. The black community is so proud of you. Right now, George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard that he can't breathe.
So not only did he say that, but y'all see the key word. Y'all hear that where he said looking up at us. So basically, what are you trying to say, sir? Are you trying to say that he's below us? That he's living in HE double hockey sticks? What are you saying? Not only was that it was not funny, you know. And like I agree with Mr. Flacco. Shout out to Poetic Flacco. This is his video, you know, that we are reacting to. But I agree with him. It was a statement. It wasn't a joke. Now I don't know what Dr. Umar Johnson has to say. I hadn't watched it yet, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna have something to say, you know. But I don't know. I think his credibility is kind of lost due to the fact of, you know, certain situations that he's been through. But he's never let I guess a white person or somebody of the other race, you know, say some stuff like this. And then look how hard this man is laughing. I mean, it's not that funny, and he knows it wasn't that funny. The audience if you go back and listen to when he said it, listen to what the audience did. A lot of them was like, "Oh," it sounded like somebody was booing. And you had some people in there laughing, and ha ha ha. It's just a joke. Oh, is it really? Is it just a joke? But would it be a joke if it was like your family member or somebody close to you? Would it be funny then? Ask yourself that. Think about Mr. Floyd's family and what they have to go through when they hear things like this. It's terrible.
Kevin, God bless this room, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you so much.
I thought that was super corny on Kevin Hart's behalf and Tony Hinchcliffe's behalf. That wasn't even a joke about Kevin Hart. Like, you didn't even mix Kevin Hart into that joke. You just straight up said that man is below us, which is me in hell laughing up at us, right? Just disrespecting the dead. I thought the joke about Charlie Kirk was distasteful. I thought that joke was also corny as well. And Pete Davidson was trying too hard, right? But the difference between Charlie Kirk and, let's say,
I like Pete Davidson. I didn't see this roast, and I didn't see, you know, like he's saying the Charlie Kirk joke, you know. But I do like Pete Davidson. I think he's you know, I don't know if you want to say he don't rock with us, but he's I would consider him being a little closer to us than this Tony Hinchcliffe guy, you know?
George Floyd is, Charlie Kirk, for the most part, made himself a public figure. George Floyd had no intention on ever being a public figure. He didn't open himself up to scrutiny, right? He was just put in that position with his death. So no, I didn't think making fun of the dead is cool, cute, or anything. Now, all the other jokes about other people in the room, like Cheryl Underwood, I ain't got no problem with that. But Umar Johnson does. And Umar Johnson went off, right? Umar Johnson sent a strong warning to Kevin Hart and every black entertainer in that room who didn't stand up for George Floyd.
As a spokesman for the black freedmen of this country, as a spokesman for the black African race, I'm the most popular grassroots spokesman in the world for my people. Y'all get a pass on Mother's Day. I'm giving him a pass, Art, one pass. But I want Kevin Hart to know, and I don't care who in Philadelphia don't like it, I don't care. I'm letting Lizzo know. I'm letting Cheryl Underwood know. I'm letting Draymond Green know, Tiffany Haddish, Regina Hall, although Regina Hall stood her ground. If y'all ever let white people do this to us again, if y'all ever sit at a comedy show and let white people insult and castrate, verbally castrate, and humiliate and shame the black race like y'all did on Mother's Day, we will cancel y'all too. And I'm not playing. Y'all black entertainers better.
Not only the black race, but he's talking about a deceased person, a person that's no longer here to defend themselves. That's crazy right there. I mean, I don't like. I mean, a lot of this music is good. It's good. Sometimes you can't really understand what they saying, but a lot of it's good, you know. But I still don't understand the fact of why you have to get into your You know, this is off the subject, but get into your rap, spin lyrics, and you want to talk about somebody that's deceased because he was your op or something like that. The person is dead and gone. He's not here to come back and clap back at you with a rap song. You know what I'm saying? They dead and gone. So what good does that do? I don't understand that. Why would you want to talk about somebody that's deceased that's not here to defend themselves?
To stop playing with the self-respect of black people. You black football players, you black basketball players, you rappers, you goofy ass rappers, you singers, you actors, you dancers, you comedians. I'm telling you now, white folk are going to try to use them, Art. They're going to try to use them to bring back the modern day minstrel show by humiliating us in their faces. And I'm letting the whole black entertainment world know right now, we will march on your ass. We will march on your house. We will boycott your movies. Don't play with me. I'm telling y'all now, I'm talking to every black entertainer in this country. Don't play with me. If you think we're going to sit by and allow you to let white people make a mockery of black people so you can get paid, you got another thing coming.
Who elected Umar Johnson as the representative for black people? I'm not saying I got a problem with it. He said he's
I was
the voice
asking
of
the
black
same
people.
thing.
I want to know who elected him. Y'all let me know in the comment section who elected Umar Johnson and when were the votes casted. Now, based on what Umar Johnson said, let's just take the Netflix roast from out of it. I think we need to be on this, like on this stance, on this code, regardless of the Netflix special. We should have been had this stance. When these rappers is rapping about doing drugs that they don't do to line up their pockets, right? Because they white zaddy at the record labels told them to do so, we need to get them out of here, right? You're destroying our community for profit.
That's right.
You're destroying our community to line up the pockets of non-blacks who got you signed, right? When these rappers is rapping about killing people in a lifestyle they've never lived, right? And they're destroying and brainwashing our community to line up the pockets of non-blacks who got them signed. We need to call that out. Yeah. You got to get out of here. You got to get canceled. When these rappers is pushing agendas or these...
Yeah, you think about like these little youngsters out here today. This word sliding and all this stuff. These rappers will rap about it and you know, do their little videos and everything like that. And then you got these little youngsters out here thinking, okay, I can do this too. But they not rapping about the the results, I can say, excuse me, after all that happens and you get caught and you having to do life in prison and you living amongst a bunch of big, swole people that don't give a damn that's ready to take your manhood. They don't rap about that. You know, it's not worth it. So, you youngsters out there, man, I mean, this music is good. It sounds good. But don't be out there sliding, doing nothing dirty. I mean, doing nothing crazy because, you know, the end results, it's not good. And if you do get away with it, then you got these people that you did something to, you know, you got they family and got their friends looking for you. It's not even worth it, man. I just think, man, I think we need to try to come together, you know, stand strong. Because if anything was to break out, you know, let's just say a race war, if it was to break out, hell, half our black youngsters, they either locked up, gone, dead and gone from fighting each other. We need to stand strong. Stop all this gun violence, man. I mean, it's not even worth it, man. You know, you sitting up here trying to slide and bang and have a shootout with the opposite side because they live on a certain block. Yeah, you know, you live on one block, they live on another block, and nobody even owns this stuff. It's owned by the government. And y'all are sitting up there fighting about it. Taking lives behind the block, behind the street, behind the name, behind the color. Come on, man. We gotta do better than that. We have to do better than that.
Entertainers is pushing agendas that ain't really beneficial for our people. We need to get them out of here. Outside of the Netflix roast, get them out of here for their everyday treason. I agree 1,000%. I don't think we needed this Netflix roast, right, to see these people ain't never on code, never will be on code. The average black entertainer got ushered into the industry, got given their first opportunity by a non-black on average. The average black entertainer has an addiction to proximity to whiteness because they understand proximity to whiteness is how you advance forward in this industry. The average entertainer is gonna put, like career advancements over being a revolutionary. So when we watch them sit in the room, laugh, geek up, smile, chuck and jive, when George Floyd was disrespected, I wasn't shocked. These folks had never been on code, right? I'm not shocked. This is who they are. Now, Umar Johnson had issues with other jokes outside of the George Floyd joke. Now, I only had an issue with the George Floyd joke, right? Because if Cheryl Underwood, if Kevin Hart and others put themselves in the room for a roast, they got to deal with the jokes that come towards them individually, regardless of how harsh it is.
Right.
But the George Floyd joke to me was especially egregious because George Floyd was not in the room.
Here's another joke. Who they talking about again? Cheryl Underwood, Art. This was not about Kevin Hart. This was a Erica Kirk get back. Listen to this. Her husband committed suicide after 3 years of marriage. I've only been sitting next to her for 2 hours, and I want to ask him, how did he last so long? Her husband committed suicide after 3 years. I've been sitting next to her for 2 hours. I want to ask him, how did he last so long? Art, somebody better tell Netflix. Somebody better tell Netflix that if you ever disrespect our women like this again, we are boycotting Netflix. It won't be no more Netflix. It won't be no more Netflix. In fact, Tyler Perry, start your black flicks. Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, somebody needs to start black flicks. We need to get away from Netflix anyway.
We do have a black flicks. It's called Tubi. Black folks have denigrated Tubi, the brand, so much that when we say Tubi or, oh, that's a Tubi movie, it's synonymous for low budget. It's synonymous for bad acting. It's synonymous for trash. So black folks label Tubi as low budget and added negative connotations to it. So, like, who can we blame for that? Like, who can we blame, right, for denigrating our own brand that's for us and by us? Tubi exists. Black folks make sure no A-listers, no real actors, no real entertainers worth they salt is trying to be associated with the Tubi brand because we calling it low budget. So we got ourselves to blame. Now, also, too, I'm going to say this, okay? When it comes to Cheryl Underwood and Tiffany Haddish, both black women in the room, after the fact, they were asked about the George Floyd joke. Tiffany Haddish said the only people mad about the George Floyd jokes were people who couldn't be in the room.
Damn.
Cheryl Underwood ain't really have no issues with the George Floyd joke. So, like, I should boycott Netflix because Netflix made jokes about Cheryl Underwood. 1, she signed up to have herself be made fun of. 2, she made fun of people. 3, she ain't have no issue with George Floyd being dissed. Why would I care if Cheryl Underwood gets dissed? I'm not boycotting Netflix because of Cheryl Underwood. I will boycott Netflix because of George Floyd.
And you know what's funny? I just renewed my subscription to watch this. Let's continue, Art. Almost done. Here we go. George Floyd is looking up at us and laughing so hard that he can't breathe. You making jokes about black people who were murdered by police? That's funny? That's comedy? And let me say this to all the coons, Art, because guess what the coons was saying on my Instagram yesterday? You don't understand risque comedy. Nah, house nigga. I understand risque comedy, but what I'm telling you, I don't care what kind of comedy it is. You're not going to disrespect black people because Art, what they're trying to do is bring back the minstrel show. What was the minstrel show, Art? Back from 1830 to 1930. From the Nat Turner War until the heyday of the Marcus Garvey movement, our greatest black movement of modern history, white people would dress up in blackface art and they would play ridiculous, stereotypical black characters. Zip Coon, the Pickaninny, the Mammy, Uncle Tom, the Laughing Sambo, and they made us look like complete animals and morons. And why did they do it, Art? The minstrel shows, which was the most popular form of entertainment in America at that time, were done to do what? Justify the mistreatment of blacks, justify the lynching of blacks, justify the slavery of blacks. And guess what, Art? They're trying to do it again. They're trying to bring back the minstrel show, with the only difference being now, Art, instead of painting their white faces black, they just gonna laugh in our black faces. It should have been called the Netflix Racist Roast of Black America, featuring Cheryl Underwood. Listen to this, Art. Kevin Hart gets up there. He's the last half hour, Art. So this is about almost 3 hours. He's the last half hour right before he bring out Meek Mill to do his closeout rap. Shout out to Meek. Kevin Hart says, y'all told me y'all want to see a real nigga tonight, so I'ma be a real nigga. Kevin Hart, I love you, bro, but don't you dare use the N-word around these Caucasians, and don't you dare make them think it's okay to use the N-word.
I'm not reading Kevin Hart saying I'm gonna act like a real N-word as him giving permission to white folks to say the N-word. I don't know. I think that's a reach per se. But this next part though, I
feel like if you end up saying that, if you get around your boys and you got a few white homeboys and everything, if you start saying, yo, what up, Ian? What up, Ninja? What up? They gonna start feeling comfortable enough to say it too. And then you gonna pass it off as, that's my homeboy. It's cool. He's just my boy. He's just my boy. But you know what's gonna happen? They may get around somebody that don't think it's cool, and then there you go. You got your homeboy getting his tail whooped behind something that he thought was cool because he was saying it around you. So you shouldn't even be saying that around. You shouldn't say it, period. You know, sometimes I catch myself saying it. I hate, and I just don't want to say it no more. But if you get around other races and you start talking like that, they're going to feel like it's cool. They're going to feel like they're a part of it. They can say it too. So you let them get away with it once, twice, 30 times. But then they might go somewhere else with you or without you and think that it's cool. And somebody else might not think it's cool. And then you got your homeboy getting his tail whooped. So just don't say it, especially around other races. To me, this is the way I feel.
Kinda agree with, because I didn't see Kevin Hart roast any white women at that roast. Now, everything isn't about race, so please, if I'm focusing on like race too much, I don't know. So Umar Johnson pointed out the fact that Kevin Hart, for the most part, there's no viral clips of Kevin Hart roasting any white women, but Kevin Hart went out of his way to roast the sisters, right? The black women, right? Cheryl Underwood, who already had it hard enough. Listen, man. If anybody other than George Floyd had it tough, it was Cheryl Underwood. Kevin Hart went out of his way to do a final roast for Lizzo, Cheryl Underwood, and Tiffany Haddish. And Umar Johnson felt like after Cheryl Underwood and the night that she had, for you to pile on, even if it was a roast, Umar Johnson felt like that was cruel.
We don't do that, bro. We don't do that. And then he says, Shane was one Bud Light away from calling me a nigga. And then Kevin did something I didn't like, Art, and this is my last piece, and I'm just going to close with my assessment of this. Kevin Hart said, I'm not going to let y'all stand up here and disrespect my black queens, my black sisters, or something to that effect, right, Art? So I'm thinking he about to clap back. I'm thinking Kevin Hart about to be an alpha male and say, I didn't appreciate them jokes you made about black women tonight. You went too far, right? Instead, you know what he says? He thanks them for coming out. Regina Hall, Lizzo, Tiffany Haddish, Cheryl Underwood. And guess what he says? None of these women have a man. They a bunch of lonely bitchs. Art, they just sat through a whole night of humiliation from white comics. And here's Kevin Hart, my North Philly brother who I love and respect. He gonna turn around and right when you think he about to defend the honor of black women, Art, he throws them under the bus too. And say, ain't none of them got no man. They a bunch of lonely bitchs.
Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Was this Kevin Hart roast out of pocket? All right, the black entertainers let the black...
All right, so I want to say shout out to Poetic Flacco, first of all. You know, I do want to say that this video, he has great content. Y'all should go check him out if you're not subscribed to his channel. So I'm pretty sure, I haven't watched this roast. I'm pretty sure it was some funny parts in it besides, you know, what you know, we're talking about, subject at hand. I'm a little frustrated about the George Floyd statement. You know, for one, the man is not here to defend himself, you know, but you have to think about this. You know, his family. How would you feel? Think about it. How would you feel if your family member passed away the way he did, the way George Floyd did, and then you got some person on live TV making jokes about it? I mean, I know he didn't make jokes about how he passed, but just with him, he might as well basically say he was making fun of him. And then he says he's looking up at us, not down. He's not looking down at us. He's looking up at us. Like he just already knows George Floyd is in hell. Why? Because of his color, the color of his skin, because of the stuff that maybe they was sitting up there saying how he was. You had more people come out saying that he was a great human being than what they were trying to put out on the news about his criminal background. And this whole Kevin Hart and Cheryl Underwood, we already know what goes on with that. You know, some Cat Williams even said it in that Club Shay Shay interview. You see, you know, you got your gatekeepers, you got the ones that them brown noses that do anything to just, you know, make that money or get into that public, or, you know, want to be, I guess, be a real, how can I say this, well-known artist, comedian, whatever. You know, he even said that some of these guys went so far of their butthole, their virginity is taken. You know, he even said somebody was slobbing these producers and whatever, these big time, big wheel people that own these networks, slobbing them down. You know, so we already know what goes on with that. But for Kevin Hart, I really feel like when that statement was made, maybe, you know, it didn't come to him right away, but when that statement was made about George Floyd, he should have pulled that Will Smith, huh? He should have pulled that Will Smith. Will Smith on live TV. If y'all remember that. Will Smith on live TV slapped the ish out of Chris Rock for saying something about his wife. Do y'all remember that? So Kevin Hart basically should have done that to that white boy. Should have done it. Made it one more time. That's what should have been done right there, and told him that's not funny. You know, y'all are making fun of a person that just had the most horrific death that you could ever imagine. And it was caught on film. Somebody recorded this man passing away. And it's sad. It's like I said, I mean, it happened a few years ago, but it's still fresh to a lot of us. And I don't think they should be making jokes about it. I don't think that should have been funny. His name shouldn't have been brought up, period. So that's what I think about it. So you guys, hey, y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Y'all think it was wrong, or y'all think it was just a joke? Harmless joke. You know. What do y'all think about this situation? Let me know down in the comments. And please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I will be making some more videos. I'm thinking about going live one of these days, but until then, hit the like button, subscribe to your boy's channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.